knowing that you'll respect them in the morning with intelligent talk that stimulates.
Welcome back to Inside the News. This is our Picking Up the Pieces segment, and a couple of items that we're going to be talking about in this segment. First, Ben, let's welcome back Frank Vernuccio as well. Let's talk about this judge's son that was murdered, and then you want to kind of switch over to some important issues about the Black community, Ben.
Yeah, very unfortunate case of the gentleman who dressed up as a FedEx agent, knocked on the door of a federal judge. A woman, she was in the basement. He shot the husband. He killed her son, who came to his father's defense. This is a case of mental illness. The guy was a longtime attorney who was an anti-feminist, a misogynist, and he had argued a case in front of this judge 5 years ago. And he just hated women, and he apparently decided to go out in this blaze of glory. But look, federal judges need to be protected, and it's a shame that he knew her address, because that should not have happened.
Okay, now the Black issue, go.
Yeah, what I'd like to talk about, and I teased this in our first segment, was there are a lot of data points growing that the Black community is going to make a historic shift, in my opinion, towards Donald Trump. Frank talked about how Donald Trump has been remarkable up until COVID for the Black community in terms of employment numbers and gains among Blacks. Gains, remember, until COVID, the lowest earners were making the biggest gains under the Trump economy in terms of average earnings and real earnings, inflation-adjusted earnings. 2 data points. Kanye West coming out, and of course he's being denounced by the left-stream media as mentally ill. But if you watched him in Atlanta, he made very impassioned speeches against drugs, against abortion, against reliance on government handouts, and telling his audience, his receptive audience, that you need to look to God and towards self-reliance and to grow within to be free. And that message there's a lot of the Black community responding that, including, and this is not being reported, Leo Terrell, a longtime civil rights activist and attorney. He's based in Los Angeles. He lives in Los Angeles, always voted Democrat, reliably Democrat. He came out this week stating he's going to vote for Donald Trump. And the main reason he cited was that what is going on, this cultural revolution led by Black Lives Matter, is a revolution to try to destroy the great American institution that he loves. And believe me when I say there are lots and lots of Blacks who feel that way. And when guys like Kanye and him come out, it encourages a lot of Blacks who think they're alone and they can't speak out to go and speak their mind. And it's going to be a wave, and we will see it in November. It'll be a historic shift towards Donald Trump.
You know, Frank, when I taught, and I did some middle school teaching, and it was in an urban environment, I found that the Black community, they are very strong with family and very strong with God. And the Democrats, they have totally turned their back on the Black community, on God and family. And you can just see it across the nation, Frank.
There's 2 interesting dichotomies in American politics. One has to do with unions, and the other has to do with the Black community. The union rank and file, the issues they believe in, the principles they believe in, are diametrically opposed to the political support that union leadership gives to the Democratic Party. Union leadership union rank and file wants more jobs, better salaries, better economic opportunities. Union leadership hews to a very left-wing Democratic model. In the Black community, and Guy, you pointed this out brilliantly, it's a very family-oriented, very hardworking concept, and yet Black leadership takes issues diametrically opposed to what the Black community wants, whether it's more charter schools. Black families as a whole want more charter schools to give their kids a better opportunity. Black leadership tends to be against charter schools. Black communities want, for the most part, better police protection to make their neighborhoods safe and livable. Black leaders seem to be opposed to more of a police presence. Those are the 2 fascinating dichotomies in American politics. How that plays out in this coming November, we'll have to see.
All right, this is Inside the News, and that was Frank Vernuccio. He's with the American Analysis of News and Media. You can find Frank at usagovpolicy.com. Ben Brunson, he's the author of the Falstaff, Enigma, and Esther, Sling. You can find more about Ben at benbrunson.com, and you can find his books at amazon.com. We want to thank our radio affiliates all across the country. You can also find us on SoundCloud. Search us at WBV Inside the News. And we are also on AUN TV. On their network. There's about 8 or 10 stations that were on there. You can find them at aun-tv.com. We're going to take our final time out. On the other side, we're going to put a bow on the program, and the guys have their hot button topics. We'll be back.
You're listening to Wehman, Brunson, and Vernuccio, Inside the News.